There had to be a way to get to that rock face. Have you spotted a route yet?
No, it looks like a pretty treacherous climb.
I'll keep looking. There must be another way. George, the chapel looks like it's been built right into the rock.
You're right. We should take a look inside.
I wonder, how old do you think the chapel is?
I'm guessing the exterior's a couple of 100 years old. But the inside? Who knows? Some parts could be much older.
You think somehow this chapel might be connected to the face in the rock?
At a guess, I would say so. Hey, look! It's Pearl and Dwayne.
Come on, honey bun. Things ain't that bad.
You just don't understand. Today's been a disaster.
But
the monastery was closed. We got stuck in the cable car. And now this place is a building site.
aw, sweetie pie.
This was supposed to be the spiritual highlight of our trip, Dwayne. But the only spirit I see is that rotten turpentine over there.
Aw, heck.
Clearly, the Hendersons weren't having a great vacation. It was a stone carving showing a kneeling figure. Pearl.
Shh, she doesn't want to be disturbed.
Great to see you again, Mr. Henderson.
Great to see you too, George. Great work back there with the cable car.
Is Pearl okay?
I wish. I'm afraid we're having one of those days where everything goes wrong.
Tell me about it. What have you been up to since we last met in Quaramonte?
Well, there was that little sideshow in Rome, but we can't talk about that. You know why, George.
I do? I do.
Why?
Top secret.
Need to know, Nico. Dwayne is, snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No way, honey. A snoozer's at least 2 pay grades up from a sleeper. So I hear. Anyway, I don't believe I've had the pleasure, Miss,
Nicole Collar. Call me Nico.
Well, how's about that? So this is the beautiful Nico. No wonder you've been hiding her away from me, Georgie boy.
Gosh, no,
It's lovely to finally meet you too, Mr. Henderson. George has told me so much about you.
Oh, call me Dwayne, my dear. And let me assure you of one thing. Everything you've heard is quite possibly true.
Dwayne was loud, large, and short-sighted, but boy was he a charmer. Is there anything we can do for Pearl?
I sure as hell hope so, George. She's been planning and researching this trip for years, our little pilgrimage. And Santa Cova Chapel here was the cherry on the cake. Not a thing she don't know about this place. Madonna, blah, blah, blah. Chapel built in, yada, yada, yada. She's Santa Cova's very own walking encyclopedia. Well, weeping encyclopedia, I should say.
So what brings you to Santa Cova?
Pearl's idea from the get-go. Ever since the unfortunate car accident back home, she's been scouring those pilgrimage brochures. Gotta be full of wonder and life-changing imagery. Got to have penance potential. Got to offer a real spiritual experience.
Well, I'm sure this place will be very spiritual once it's finished.
If the chapel is not what she expected, how about the monastery?
Hot dog, no. That place is for tourists, not pilgrims.
You said she expected a spiritual experience?
Well, that's what the brochure promised. Pilgrimages, little monk fellas, singing, shafts of light, the whole shebang.
Smells, bells, and heavenly lights.
Yeah, that's what the lady wanted. Oh, excuse me, Pearl needs me. There, dear.
Pearl could be a mine of information about the chapel, if we could just cheer her up. Candles could be heavenly. But Pearl had already claimed this little oasis of spirituality as her own. I needed something more striking to get her attention. A fire extinguisher with all these lighted candles seemed like a sensible precaution. A paint can hung from the scaffolding. The scaffolding was a little loose. Everything rattled. It made a surprisingly dulcet noise. It was a selection of tools. The view over the valley was spectacular. It produced a dull sound when I rapped my knuckle against it. It was a half-empty bottle of turpentine. It was a hammer with a long, thin head. It produced a dull sound. The hammer produced a promising sound. B, if I wasn't mistaken.
What are you up to?
Look, I made a Churchenspiel. Wrong. That didn't sound right. G. B. A. That sounded like an A. Well, that was fun. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
Did you see the Black Madonna?
Oh, you betcha. She's the little lady we came to see. Though Pearl's in too much of a state to even look at her.
Hey, that tune you were whistling earlier, it sounded familiar.
Oh, it's Schubert's Ave Maria. In our courting days, me and Pearl used to hang out with the Campanology Society. It was Pearl's favorite.
How you holding up?
Me? Oh, Pearl, on the other hand.
How's Pearl doing?
She's pretty upset, George.
Well, maybe she just needs a hug.
Is that the best you got? The last time she was in a mood like this, I tried the old hug routine.
Didn't go well?
I still have the scars, not just the mental ones.
What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, Pearl's the expert, not me. She knows everything there is to know about this chapel. Oh, excuse me. There, dear.
My mother always said cleanliness is next to godliness. The carving showed a figure in prayer. I'd lowered the candelabra. I often wondered what these things looked like close up. I'd lowered the... I often... A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. An empty, coffee-stained mug had been left by the altar. A statue of the Madonna and Child watched over the chapel. There was a recess in the wall with a Latin word carved above it. Puritas, purity. I'd seen that word before somewhere. The third passage, pure light, white light, pure light will win. So it was written in the old texts, affirmed by the Tabula Veritatis. And these were the accused's last words. Interesting. There was more about light, and somehow the Tabula Veritatis had a connection. Simeon would have known what it all meant, but unfortunately, Simeon was dead. Well, it seemed like a good... That wouldn't have worked. Nope, I lit the candles on the candelabra. I couldn't see anything unusual about it. The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point of the chapel. That wasn't worth trying. Nope, I needed to try. I decided to exhaust my other options before I started smashing up religious artifacts. The wall here was made of bare rock. It looked like the chapel had been built right into it. I needed a better idea. I sprayed the shavings with Brett. Delightful. They didn't go together. Well, that didn't work. That wasn't worth trying. Nope. It was a half-empty bottle of turpentine. That wasn't worth trying. The hammer produced a promising sound. A. B. Not a pleasant sound. B. A. G. Well, that was fun. Pearl. Shh, shh, shh. I made some potpourri for your wife.
Well, that's awfully kind of you, George. But my woman isn't so fragile that she would need smelling salts.
I knew she wouldn't be interested. Pearl. Shh, shh, shh. I made some potpourri.
Well, that's awfully kind of you. But my woman isn't so fragile that she would need smelling salts.
Nico? So what did you mean by smells, bells, and heavenly lights?
I'm talking about the authentic church experience.
Oh, I see. Smells, bells, and heavenly lights. Any idea how old the chapel is?
That's what I asked you.
So we basically don't know anything.
That's the long and short of it, George.
I found a statue over there.
Great! What did you find out about it?
That's all I got.
Well, it's not a lot to go on.
Poor Pearl.
She's in quite a state. If we're going to find the tabula, her knowledge is key.
So, all our hopes are pinned on an American tourist.
I pin my hopes on an American tourist all the time.
Got any ideas for smells?
Have you found any incense? Church smells don't get much more authentic than incense.
The view over the valley was spectacular. It was rickety scaffolding cluttered with tools and supplies. It was a selection of tools. I didn't want to disturb Pearl. I needed a better idea. Nope, I need... It was a beautiful antique fire hazard. The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point of the chapel. I put the scented shavings in the mug. The mug contained potpourri, made by yours truly. The Black Madonna was clear. I lit the scented shavings. A sweet aroma started to fill the room. It was a beautiful antique. The hammer produced a G A B. It was rickety scaffolding cluttered with tools and supplies. Well, that was fun. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
How you holding up?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. Pearl, on the other hand. Oh, excuse me. There, dear.
We couldn't leave now, not when we were so close to finding the tabula. The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point of the A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. That wasn't worth it. The scent of incense was rising from the mug. Divine. It produced a dull sound. The hammer produced a prominent G. B. Wrong. G. A. B. A. A. G. B. Well, that was fun. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What were you whistling again?
Oh, it's Schubert's Ave Maria.
How you holding up?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. Pearl, on the other hand.
How's Pearl doing?
She's still pretty upset.
What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, Pearl's the ex. She knows everything there is.
I thought maybe a squirt of Brett might cheer her up.
Very considerate of you, George, but Pearl prefers a flowery scent. Oh, excuse me.